Meanwhile, protests continue at Portland's ICE facility. And that's where we find our Alma McCarty, who also has a look at another route the president might take to try and deploy troops. Alma?
Yeah, John, back here at the ICE facility, things are looking calm like they have most nights, with little flare-ups here and there. I'll let you take a look at what the scene is, just a couple of protesters, like maybe a couple dozen, standing peacefully outside of those gates. Now, the Trump administration's attempt to bring the National Guard troops here, we know this. Whether that can happen remains up in the air, with Singh's still tied up in court proceedings. However, one thing he has already threatened to do: invoke the Insurrection Act.
The Insurrection Act was actually passed in 1807, signed by Jefferson.
And more than 200 years later, the commander-in-chief has threatened to use it in cities across the U.S., including Portland.
It essentially says that the president, under certain circumstances, is allowed to send basically the federal military to come and enforce the laws of a state.
As recently as Friday, President Trump brought up the Rose City once again.
I hear how wonderful it is. It's not wonderful. It's a disaster. That's almost an insurrection, that place.
His comments teeing up another possible avenue to send troops to the ICE facility should the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals make a ruling preventing them from deployment. Here's Laura I. Appelman, a law professor at Willamette University.
It's possible that under the Insurrection Act, if he sends either the Oregon National Guard or even the militia, that they would actually be able to do regular law enforcement. This means stopping people, arresting them.
Appelman says the last time the act was used was in 1992, when President George H.W. Bush sent federal troops to L.A.
During the riots, at the specific request of both L.A.'s mayor, who happened to be a Democrat, and California's governor, who happened to be a Republican.
But this time around, Oregon leaders have repeatedly pushed back against the president's wishes.
We haven't seen it being applied to states, against their desires, really since the desegregation of schools.
And in the same way that that Oregon took the Trump administration to court over the federalization of troops to be deployed here, Appelman tells me that they could likely do the same with the invocation of the Insurrection Act, an act that she called very broad and very vague. Some legal experts have even argued it needs a meaningful update. John, back to you.
All right, Alma McCarty live for us tonight. Alma, thank you so much for your reporting.